Hi, welcome to the Drama Free Living Podcast. Dennis and Lisa McIntee here. And Lisa, I'm super excited about this time. If you're listening to it live, right, we're in the Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving season. And so,
Christmas.
Yeah. And so we wanted to cover this idea of gratitude today because just how important it is, right? And it maybe give some other ideas other than the, oh, yeah, it's important, of course, right?
Yeah,
so,
I'm thankful for.
Yeah. So let's kind of walk through it here a little bit.
Okay, so gratitude, it's there's a lot of talk about gratitude, and there's a lot of talk about the importance of gratitude and the value of it. And there's actually been a gazillion studies done on gratitude and its relation to resilience, and it's just really fascinating. One thing that Dennis and we have done for, I don't know how long we've done it.
At least maybe 6 months, right? If I'm thinking what you're thinking about. Maybe
No,
not.
I'm thinking like 6 years.
Okay. I have no idea.
But 6 months, 6 months like on the regular.
Okay.
And that's the 3 things I'm happy about.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. And typically it just happens sometimes multiple times during the day. And it's this question, hey, what are 3 things you're happy about? And, I got to be honest, Lisa, sometimes it irritates me. I don't know if you find this, but it's like, you're like, hey, what are you grateful about? Like, nothing, freaking nothing. Like, I'm not. But it just is such a good redirect and like a refocus, when you ask that question.
Yeah. So, it's actually early October for us. We're recording this, and we just went through a hurricane here in
Power out.
Trees on houses. We're kind of in that corner of Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and South Carolina. And honestly, there are communities that are 30 minutes north of us that are they're gone. They are just gone.
Right. And it really messes with your psyche a little bit, even though, Lisa, like, we still have a house and honestly, we're out of power for what, 4 days?
5, 6, I don't know, a long time. We got power back the other day.
In a grand scheme of things, it wasn't a whole lot compared to other people, but just the things that happen, mentally, for us, and just having this exercise of what are 3 things you're grateful for. And what's interesting, Lisa, we played the game 5 or 6 times, like a day sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we've been having military helicopters flying over our house about, every hour on the hour, and we know what they're doing. We know they're taking supplies up because there are people that are stranded, and the only way you can reach them is by helicopter. And stuff like that it just kind of weighs down on you. And there's different things. Different things are happening in people's lives all the time. We've got a friend of ours, their baby is in the hospital, 6 months old, and waiting for a heart transplant. And the baby needs the heart transplant like now. And there's all kinds of things that it's just things that happen in life, and they weigh you down, and you just need something to be able to refocus you because it's heavy. And so, Dennis, let's play 3 things I'm happy about. And it's a version of a gratitude exercise, but we say 3 things I'm happy about because it's not necessarily, okay, I'm grateful for. It's just, okay, what can I be happy about? So, Dennis, tell me 3 things you're happy about.
Yeah, I think today it's really great weather, right? It's cooled down, and I walked outside. I said, oh, I really, really love this weather. I'm really happy we're in the studio doing this because for me, this is one of the most enjoyable things that we do, and I'm really happy that our oldest son and his fiance came over and spent the night at the house with us and got
because they have no power, or no, they have power, but they have no internet and no cell service.
Right. Yeah. So I'm really happy that they came over, and that's how you play it, right? It redirects your focus.
Yeah. And so 3 things that I'm happy about. I'm happy that I was able to have air conditioning because it's been in the 80s and we didn't have air conditioning for a really long time. And so I was just really happy to wake up and not have sweated all night long. Something else I'm happy about was I was really happy. Ladies, you're going to appreciate this. I was thinking a couple days ago, okay, we're supposed to go into the studio and record. And I'm thinking, I guess I'm going to wear a baseball cap because I'm going to be really frizzy. So I'm really thankful that I had electricity. So my hair's not frizzy. I mean, that's kind of a real thing. 3rd thing I'm grateful about. I'm honestly grateful that we didn't have any damage to our house.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
And just that right there kind of, I don't know, it helps bring me up out of the heaviness of the destruction that we're seeing around us.
Yeah. So Lisa, let's kind of go go through like some of these benefits, right?
Right.
And let's just kind of talk through them because I think it'd
Yeah.
be very helpful because it really is. It's almost like a powerful force. It's almost like gratitude and thankfulness is a tool.
Yeah.
Look at it as like a tool that you can use to unlock certain things.
Right. Okay. So I found this amazing article. It was 35 scientific benefits of gratitude. It said mental health research findings in 2024. So I mean, it was very cool. It was from research.com if you want to geek out and get all the details on
I
it.
never geek out about
No, you
research.
geek out, but just about different things.
Fair enough.
You do
Fair
geek
enough.
out just about different.
Hey,
And
and that's a great question. Hey, what do you geek out about? Right? Because we all geek out. Like geek out is like unique. It's unique to
we
who
all
you
geek
are.
out about
We all
something.
right. And so that's a great question.
Yeah, and so this was just so it's not just okay, it's good to have gratitude, but it's scientific benefits, things that are proven on this is what it does for you. And so what was fascinating is and this is just just kind of a quick so gratitude in the brain, right? Gratitude in the brain. Gratitude fosters cognitive restructuring by evoking positive thinking.
I don't even know what that means. Cognitive restructuring.
You know, how you think
Okay,
and
got it.
and the
Okay,
paths and
great.
stuff.
Okay, got it.
Okay, it reduces fear and anxiety by regulating stress hormones,
Hmm.
and it enhances dopamine and serotonin, which are the neurotransmitters that are responsible for
Love
happiness.
me some dopamine.
So that's just like
Yep.
that's that in just a brief sentence, So I just found that really
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
This is kind
fascinating.
of what they're discovering. It's fascinating. There was a study by Julie Vesselmeyer, right? So there was the campus shooting at Seattle Pacific University a while back ago, and she did a study after this campus shooting. So I mean, you think about it, being involved in a campus shooting is a pretty traumatic
Big deal.
situation, and she did this study on the role of resilience and
Hmm.
gratitude in post-traumatic stress and in post-traumatic growth. And it was very fascinating that, she's following these students and the
Hmm.
process that she had just in how are they dealing with this post-trauma and how are they moving toward growth?
Hmm.
And it was just fascinating because she found that gratitude helps promote the positive outcomes during trauma.
Hmm.
And I
It's
thought,
good.
gosh, we've kind of just gone through a traumatic event, not as traumatic as the people 30 and 45 minutes north of us,
Yeah.
but and so our three things I'm happy about, I'm thinking, yeah, I could use some post-traumatic growth.
Well, Lisa, and I think here's what happens with gratitude, and just kind of hit me, is it really makes you anti-fragile. It's like the more gratitude you have, the less fragile you are, the more resilient, right? Because
Mhm.
when people are resilient, they're not very fragile. But think about how many times, are you fragile and you sort of just something happens and you just kind of crumble under it, or you can just be really resilient. Well, I think the key really is this gratitude piece. Right, because you can't change any of these events that happen. Like we can't change a hurricane, we can't like all these different things that happen, but it really makes you anti-fragile. And I think we'll talk about this spot in the workplace, but I mean, how many fragile people are there in the workplaces? Oh, they said that and I just lost my cool or,
Mhm.
and,
I'm
or,
glad you said the word cool and
y-
not
yep.
the word that came to your
Hey,
mind.
I'm a work in progress. Okay.
No,
I'm a
you
work.
did great.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah. And I even think about like sometimes people crumble under pressure. Well, what makes you crumble under pressure and other people thrive under it? I think gratitude plays a big, big piece into this.
Yeah, and so breaking it down, these scientific benefits of gratitude, it was fascinating because
Yeah.
they broke it down into mental and psychological, professional skills and
Yep.
workplace, and then physical health, emotional health, and social health. And it was fascinating. So, with the mental and psychological grouping,
Hmm.
it was very interesting. So, studies have shown that gratitude boosts self confidence.
Yeah. So think about this, Lisa. When I'm not confident, I'm not going to try new things.
Hmm.
Right? When I'm not confident, I'm going to procrastinate and I'm going to put things off. But when I have a high degree of confidence, right, I'm going to accomplish more. And so it's like sometimes I think the problem is we think about gratitude as sort of a woo woo soft, and it's like a tool.
Mhm.
right? It's like
It's a superpower.
it's a superpower, right? So boosting self-confidence.
The superpower of gratitude.
Ooh, there you go.
It also improves patience and it improves resiliency. It helps with these coping mechanisms. It's scientifically been shown to reduce envy and jealousy. Um, it's
Mm.
been proven to give you a more optimistic outlook, making you less materialistic. I mean, I know
Oh,
for
wow.
me,
Huh.
at this point, I'm just thankful that I have power.
Well, and I think it really helps you reflect on your values.
Yeah.
Right? Gratitude really helps you reflect on instead of like looking outside, because think about gratitude comes from within. And when I'm always looking from outside, it's almost like this scarcity lack mentality. But when I look inside and go, hey, gratitude comes from the inside. And it's almost like I create the gratitude. It's like I don't discover the gratitude. I actually create the gratitude. And so it becomes sort of like this resource for you, and almost maybe like a muscle. I know Lisa, as we've been doing like three things you're happy about, like, I'm pretty good at it now. But I
You
remember
are.
when we first started, I was like, "What are you talking about? Nothing, nothing. Everything sucks." Right? But it's like, I'm really, really good at it, and I'm really good at finding, like, the little things that, to be happy about. And then what it's caused me is not just our conversation, but as I'm going throughout the day, it's like, I'm really good at this skill. I mean, wouldn't you say, like, look at Dennis 2 years ago and Dennis, like, today?
I like Dennis today.
You
He's
know,
a pretty
I like him.
I mean, I liked him 2 years ago, but I like him a lot
Yeah,
better
Dennis
now.
today is so much more happier.
Yeah.
And it
New and
really
improved. It's Dennis 2.0.
yeah.
I think that's an old saying,
It is. What
2.0.
would 3.0 look
I don't
like?
know. I just, iPhone 18 just updated, so maybe it's Dennis 18.0.
Maybe. Okay.
But anyway, so gratitude though makes you
Mhm.
less materialistic. I
Hmm.
mean, think about
Yeah.
it. So we were out of power for 5 days. Um,
Couldn't
and
charge cell phones,
we
couldn't
couldn't
charge
charge
computers.
we did have water, we didn't have hot water.
Yeah.
Um, and it was very inconvenient,
Yeah.
but I just kinda looked at it as bougie camping. I mean, I had a bed to sleep in.
You had a
I
you
mean,
had a gas grill.
I had a gas
You can do
grill.
anything with a gas grill.
Our gas grill has a burner, right? Like a cooktop
Yeah.
burner, a gas
Yep.
burner. And so we're out there with, our pan of water and I'm heating my water to make my tea and took my cast iron skillet out there and thankfully my eggs were okay, and eggs and peppers and I did this amazing egg scramble with and I'm thinking what is that compared to my normal day-to-day life? I mean, seriously, I just spent 5 days thinking, "Yeah, that stuff doesn't really matter because 'cause I'm
Mm.
alive and I have a roof over my head."
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think in that way, it really helps you reflect on, like, what's really important to you.
Yeah, yeah. It makes you more forgiving. So
How
you're
so? What are you thinking?
well, because you're like, they've got they've got different things going on, and it kinda I think that kinda goes along with the resilience category. It's
Mhm.
just somebody does something and,
Mm.
I thought about it. Okay, so I had to go by the hospital yesterday, and I was backing out of a parking space, and
Mhm.
somebody, like, laid on their horn because they wanted to let me know you know, um
They were there.
they were
"Hey,
there,
I'm
which they were
here."
a long way away, and I actually had right of way, but I was thinking about it. That happened to me 4 times in the last 5 days,
Yeah.
is I was doing something I was in a parking space, and I had to back up a little bit because I was too close to the person in front of me to be able to pull out, and the person behind me, like, totally lays on the horn, and I wanted to be really frustrated, but I'm like, "They're kinda going through some stressful stuff."
Well, it almost gives
And
it
I'm
almost
like I'm just grateful to be alive to have a car to drive, so I'm thinking, it just doesn't just kind of rolls off my back.
yeah, almost like I think gratitude lets you have more grace for people.
Mhm.
And you can kind of step back and realize like, hey, they got problems, they got issues, and I don't know what they're going through. And being grateful just sort of lets you have some more of that grace for
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And because here's the thing, I think that all of this stuff comes from the inside. And if I'm grateful on the inside, there's not a lot of turmoil, right?
There
Turmoil comes out of me because it's boiling up in me. But
right.
if I can use gratitude and thankfulness and, some of these tools that we're talking about, I actually like can control this because what comes out of my mouth is really like it's in my heart,
Mhm.
right? So it's really it's a heart exercise.
Yeah, yeah. It also gratitude, helps battle against depression. It makes
Hmm.
you present in the moment for what you're happy about or what you're grateful about, and mulling over less on the negative side of things. It helps recovery from addiction, which I
Mm.
thought that was very fascinating.
Well, I think because, like, when I'm grateful, I improve my connections.
Mhm.
Right? And really, like, addictions tend to be like a lack of connection. We don't have we don't have
There's a
that.
whole lot
Right?
to
Just
that.
right, just we just said a whole lot in just one sentence, right? But when you look at it that way, that addiction is really a solution for a lack of connection, connection with yourself, connection with other people. But even when you step back and you're grateful for the things in your life, things that, I'm grateful for my gifts and my talents and my abilities. And it helps me connect with me instead of reaching out and trying to get this need met from, like, substances or alcohol or
Mhm.
workaholism, right? Just many addictions, right? And
Yeah,
and it's this whole idea that really addictions are really a solution. They're a solution for not being connected.
yeah.
And so when you think about it, it's like
It's
gratitude
a
can,
solution for something,
yeah, yeah, absolutely, it's a
for a lack
solution.
for a lack that you have in your
Yeah, but
life.
gratitude kinda helps you fill that gap. It's a fascinating idea.
Mhm. And then the last 2 on the mental and psychological are enhancing
Mm.
vitality and enhancing spiritualism. And, it's highlighting what's really meaningful in life.
Yeah,
It's highlighting those things that are ultimately, this is what's important.
yeah, and I think, when we focus on the trivial, it's when I end up trying to get frustrated. But when I step back and go, because there's a lot really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, right? At least we were 6 minutes late here to the studio today. Does it really, really matter? But I gotta tell you, like, Dennis, like,
A week ago?
no, come on, help me out here. Okay, Dennis, a year ago, okay, maybe Dennis 2 years ago for sure, right? But it it's not that important. We're still gonna get everything done today, right? And so this idea of really focusing on the important, really what's meaningful
Right.
type of thing. So, I
Yeah.
mean, those are great. So and then we got some things like in the workplace,
Yeah.
so it's actually a tool in the workplace.
And this is so important. If we can infuse gratitude in the workplace, the changes, the results that happen are just company changing. I mean, it can keep a company from going under to a
Yeah.
company that's thriving and
Well,
successful.
and it's this idea of appreciation. And you
Mhm.
almost look at it as when you appreciate things, they go up in value, right? When our money appreciates, our real estate appreciate, it goes up in value. The same thing happens with people. When I learn to appreciate people, they actually go up in value. So if people are not becoming more and more valuable, I think it's a key of appreciation. You got to figure out, how can I appreciate it more? Like, appreciate their skills, their talents, and start to call some of that stuff out. Because I think a lot of people have harsh inner critics. A lot of people are kind of look at themselves and they're harsh on themselves. I know I was for years. And so when you tell people, you point out, like, what they're not doing wrong. And listen, I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and don't talk about weaknesses and what needs to be improved. But when you're always pointing these things out, it just reinforces it in people. And the thing about it is people already know, maybe they're not skilled at that or they're not great at that. And you just reinforce that.
Mhm.
And then you actually lower their confidence. And so really this whole idea is whatever you appreciate goes up in value. Think about your experiences. Whatever you appreciate, whatever experience you appreciate, it goes up in value. The way to have a valuable experience is to appreciate the experience. And the more appreciation you can have for the experience, the more valuable it is. Even for things that are perceived like painful experiences, if you can learn to appreciate that experience, it actually becomes valuable, because the thing that I never want to have is an experience that's never valuable.
Yeah, and it's
Right?
and it's appreciating the positive aspects of the
Yeah,
experience,
when you can even appreciate the negative aspects. Wow, I really learned not to do that again.
post-experience.
Post-experience, right? Oh, I
Right.
said that. I go, "Oh, my, I probably shouldn't have said that." So,
And
uh,
that goes along with that study,
yeah,
after the shooting at the university. It was the post-experience gratitude, so it's post-traumatic growth. It
yep,
was all about the gratitude and resiliency.
yeah. So that's I love it. Okay, so just a couple. It really improves retention, right? When you
Yeah.
think about it, because when people feel valuable and recognized, when they feel valuable, like, hey, I'm able to, increase value, and I'm valuable to you, right? I think the thing that people don't want is they want to be seen.
Well, and if you feel like you're being taken advantage of
Hmm.
in your workplace, it's likely because you don't feel appreciated,
Yeah.
and your higher ups don't express gratitude. And who wants to stick around in a workplace where you don't feel appreciated? I mean, you're essentially there for a paycheck.
Right, and we work with a lot of organizations where, they're this big recruiting and we're always recruiting, but boy, if you don't have great retention and they're walking out the back door, how much money are you spending on recruiting? Right? How much are you investing in time and resources and energy? But then compared to how much time, resource, energies are you spending on retention? And many times we just focus on this recruiting piece and sort of leave this retention piece. So,
Mhm.
and we've got a lot of tools. So check out the website. I'm thinking GPS methodology, just so many different great tools that we've created to increase retention. And
Mhm.
so check
Well,
those
and
out on the
team
website.
talks.
Team Talks is there, right? So listen, let's talk about it right now real quick,
Okay.
okay? Yeah, so we're gonna do a Christmas special. So if
Yes.
you're
The month of
listening
December.
the month of December, December 2024, so if you're listening to it now, click the link, go to the website. The link is gonna be in the show notes, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you Team Talks, and Team Talks is a 12-month, 52 emails over the next year.
Well, they're
We're
not just emails.
right, they're videos, they're actually resources for
They're tools, it's instructional, it's step by step.
yeah, it's like, how do you have a great team meeting? How do you increase retention?
Mhm.
And so we actually show you how to do great team huddles, team meetings, whatever that looks like for you. And it's actually a resource chock full with videos and tools and supplemental guides. And literally, Lisa, it's what, $30 a month on the website?
Normally, it's
Normally
$30
$30,
a month.
$10 a month. Okay. Or $100 for the whole year. So we're going to click a link. There's going to be a special landing page. Okay. So listen, you're worth $100 a year investment. And so we've actually had senior leaders get it for like all of their teams. Like, so if you have supervisors that need to have team meetings, you have
Mhm.
managers that need to have team meetings, you can get it for a manager.
Absolutely, and it's not just, "Okay, here's how you lead a team meeting." We actually give you, "Okay, this month we're going to focus on" what's one of the things that we've what
Procrastination.
procrastination. So this month we're gonna focus on procrastination and how you can utilize procrastination, how you can move ahead, and how and it's instructional to be able to lead your team, and this is what the focus of the meeting this week will be in this leadership teaching moment, and how you can bring your team together and work together to become a more cohesive unit and kind of battle against some of these typical vices that teams and companies
Okay,
have.
so if you're having a problem with retention, okay, retention is low. You're having a problem with productivity. I can't get these people to do things fast enough. They're not taking a sense of urgency. You're frustrated about this. It's for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's what's going on for you, okay, grab Team Talks. It's there. It's a resource, and we're going to do it for Christmas. So
Merry
it's there.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So gratitude, right? It really improves retention. It enhances productivity,
Wow.
right? Because people are so when they feel when they feel that you're grateful and you appreciate them, they're going to take initiative,
Well,
right? They're
and
going to step out and do some hard things.
there's studies that have been shown that and if you express gratitude in advance, that people actually will do more for you and they'll work more for you and they'll be more willing to go the extra mile. There was this study that was, okay, you can thank someone after and they will grudgingly work their 40 hours
Yeah.
and no more, or you can thank them in advance and they will
Hmm.
do their 40 hours, but then they'll go beyond just because they know it's appreciated and they know they're appreciated and they actually want to put in the effort. Now, this is not a manipulation technique. This is there's a place for it. So it's got to be true gratitude,
Yeah.
but being grateful in advance and say, hey, I really appreciate. There's a lot going on and you don't have power and I appreciate how much you're working right now and you're working this week and there's going to be things that come up and we've had so many different things that have gotten rescheduled and thank you so much. I know you're getting ready to go on vacation in a couple weeks and your plate is so full and now you're having to reschedule all this stuff. I appreciate you working hard on just getting these things rescheduled before you go because it's a lot of extra work.
Well, listen, it really is about grabbing people's hearts before you just go for their hand. And a lot of times, if I just go for your hand, do this, do this, do this, do this, and I don't grab your heart, you'll do stuff, but I won't get your engagement. I won't get your passion. I won't get your creativity. I won't get all these things that really are the most valuable of you. So that's what you're after. It's like you're after the valuable things inside of people, their creativity, their ideas, their engagement. It's like those are things you can't pay for. It's like I can pay for your time, but I can't pay for those things. So that's what you're really kind of going after.
And high level entrepreneurs, high level C-suite, CEOs, COOs, these high level, high capacity people, they tend to be pretty driven. I mean, we tend to be pretty driven. And so it can come across as, I just need your hands. I just need your skill set. And I don't really care about you. Not that you don't care about them, but you're just a driven individual and you like to see results. I mean, I know that doesn't happen to you at all, does it?
No, no. You're asking for a friend, right?
Asking for a friend,
right.
exactly.
We're talking about
Asking for a
somebody that we
friend.
know. Yeah. Okay. So
Not going to name any names.
well, and also like when you think about it, it really enhances management capabilities.
Mhm.
It kind of increases the empathy and really increases your emotional. It's why we created Emotionally Intelligent, right? It really increases your
Yeah.
emotional intelligence. And I think it really helps you respond, not react. Because I know when I'm in an ungrateful place, I tend to, have turmoil on the inside. I tend to be irritated, frustrated, maybe fearful, and I'll just sort of react and I'll just sort of say something kind of cutting. But when I'm full of gratitude, it actually kind of slows life down. It doesn't speed life up. And when life is slowing down, you're able to make better decisions. Like Wayne Gretzky always said, he said he was the most successful when the game was moving in slow motion. It was like he was just able to sort of skate where the puck was. Well, I think you're able to do that when you have a life full of gratitude, is that it slows it down so that you can actually make better decisions. It actually gives you the right perspectives.
Right, because it refocuses
Mhm.
you. It puts the main things, and all of these other things that really are not so important, it puts it at the peripheral, which
Yeah.
slows your life down because you're more focused in the present and focused on what actually matters.
Yeah. And I think kind of this shift to, positivity really helps create this
Mhm.
sense of fulfillment.
Mhm.
And creates this sense of meaning like in work. And overall it just increases collaboration and really helps the environment. So listen, our practice is three things you're happy about today, multiple ways that you can do this. People have a journal. Like I journal every day. I write down like what were the wins for the day. And I just, because it kind of builds my confidence, multiple ways to do it. But we just wanted to bring it to the forefront, especially during this season, is what do you need to do to increase your gratitude? What do you need to do to increase your appreciation of life, of circumstances? What needs to happen for you so that you can increase this? Because really, it's a tool and a resource to really make all your dreams come true.
And, that's really fascinating. So we utilized three things you're happy about with one of our team members
Yeah.
yesterday, I
Yeah.
think it was. So she's also without power, and it's
Tough. It's tough right now.
really, really tough.
Yeah.
And we could hear it in her voice, just this very downcast, feeling very overwhelmed. And at the end of I don't know if it was at the end or the beginning of the call, we were like, hey, tell us, we're going to do the three things you're happy about. And Dennis went through his three things. I went through my three things. She went through her three things. And
It changed the atmosphere of the call.
changed the atmosphere of the call. It was,
I think we were more creative.
we were more creative, and it was just lighter. The call
Mhm.
was just lighter. It wasn't so heavy. Did anything change? Absolutely not. Our focus changed. And
Yeah.
it was a game changer.
And so develop this skill in your people, but first develop it in you. And one thing that I always do, if you're going to take this out and kind of do it with your team, you go first. Okay. Because a lot of times you say, hey, what are three things you're grateful about? And people go, what? Do what? Nothing. Right. That's kind of how they,
Yeah.
right. But it's like, hey, let's play a quick game. It's like, let's do a positive focus. It's like, these are three things I'm grateful about. And I'll go first. And I just go first. And when I'm playing it with people that aren't real skilled at it, I try to pick the easiest things.
And
right. Just to help people see
Right.
there are so many things. There's an abundance of things to be grateful for.
And I think we use the term three things I'm happy about because sometimes when you're in the middle of stuff, you're like, I'm just not really grateful for anything. But the word happy, or just kind of for me as a mind shift, it's a better word for me than what am I grateful for? Because also, if you use the term, well, what are three things you're grateful for? That could be taken as talking down to someone. And which is also
Yeah.
why you go first,
Yeah.
because if you say, well, what are three things you're grateful for? And you go first, it's very, instructive.
Well, but also it creates this degree of transparency.
Right.
Right? And reciprocity and transparency, they just have this amazing effect that if I give you transparency, you almost want to give me something back. It's this sowing and reaping, right? So I'm going to give you transparency, and there's almost this reflective, well, I'll give you something.
I think it's more that maybe not that I want to give you something back, but I think it's more that I feel that a little bit more safe. I feel it's a little bit more
Yeah.
safe
I think
to
it's
give
good.
something back, because once you kind of open that protective wall of exclusivity,
Yeah.
then and you become more inclusive, I begin to feel welcomed and open to maybe revealing a little bit of
Yeah.
myself.
So you could use multiple ways with 3 things you're grateful about, 3 wins, 3 things that are working right now, 3
Three
things you're
things you're
happy
happy
about,
about.
3 things you appreciate, multiple ways to
Three
sort of.
things that are good right now. I mean, you could go very, very simple. What are 3 things that are maybe good or
Yeah, so
working
we just
well?
wanna bring it to your attention and kinda bring it to your focus. Lisa, this has been really fun. Like, what big takeaway for you?
Well, I was
Well,
gonna say,
yeah,
and team talks,
okay.
that's exactly.
It really kind of puts that focus on gratitude, doesn't it? So if you have a problem with gratitude, go, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is so hard," get Team Talks and get it for a discount. Get it the month of December, right? Don't wait, so it'll go back up in Jan and listen, even if you wait, all right, it's totally like
It's still
it's still
worth
a
it,
great
but
deal,
ten bucks a
but
month is a good deal. But
we
what
just wanna give it away. We want you to be grateful, right? We want you to, like, have great team meetings.
So, but with your teams, you've got so many different people on your team, and they're
Yeah.
all dealing with different things. And throughout the 12 months, we tackle different topics.
Yeah.
So you're going to cover pretty much everything that someone on your team is dealing with, but also we cover the roadblocks of what your team is dealing with to be a cohesive unit
Yeah.
and to be successful together.
Yeah, it's really fun. So,
Yeah.
it's a great resource for you. So, Lisa, big takeaway, like what's hitting your brain
So for
today?
me, I found it fascinating. I'm more of a, okay, I need to see the data to really realize that, hey, okay, it's fine to say yes, being grateful, it works.
Yeah.
But after kind of going through the different studies and the scientific benefits and what it does within your brain, I'm thinking, okay, just isn't like a psychological woo-woo whatever. This is shown. I mean, the chemical changes in your brain and the results of doing studies with multiple groups of people in different situations are gratitude is it's a it's a real concept.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just super grateful in your ability to research. That you just dig in, like, no, really, like a dog with a bone. And I'm grateful that I'm not a researcher. And it kind of, well, actually, I remember yesterday you said, well, hey, we were just talking about yesterday. And I said, yesterday was a tough day because I was just doing a couple of things that were outside of my zone of genius. And you're like, well, what were they? And I go, researching I said, the podcast. And you said the podcast. I go, yeah, because yesterday we researched and I don't do good at research. And just really, I think just coming back to this place of like looking at people and being grateful for who they are, not who they're not. And
Hmm.
I think sometimes I tend to like look at people and I have such, I want to help them change and help them become somebody different. And some people just, they're never going to become. It's like trying to get,
They're never going to become what you think they could become.
yeah, yeah. And really look at them going, how can I help them become the person they were most supposed to be, not the person that Dennis would like them to be? Because I think
Wow,
it's
that's
powerful. Yeah.
really
And
powerful.
so just be careful that when you look out at your team, you're not trying to get, apple juice from an orange. And I think for me, as we're kind of going through this, I think I tend to want to get apple juice from an orange. And if we've got an orange on our team, then let's go make some great orange juice. And I think gratitude and appreciation kind of pulls it out of you. So we'll put some notes there in the show notes, how you can get Team Talks. Grab it for the month of December 2024. Even if it's past 2024, it's a great resource for you. It's there. And we'll put some things in the show notes just for you. So listen, this has been fun, and we'll see you next time on the Drama Free Living Podcast.